I know what happened to you this morning. I know what happened. You woke up with morning wood. Decided to poke your lady friend in the leg. That wasn't your lady friend's leg. That was my chihuahua, Nacho. I know what happened. I know what happened. You thought it was her fuzzy pajama bottoms. Now the dog won't even look you in the eye anymore. They're staring at your nose, wanting food. Welcome to DopplerVidya. We're playing Final Fantasy 4. I know it said 2, or maybe it said 3. I don't know. It was Nintendo's fuck up. So apparently there was this Super Bowl commercial. I don't know. I didn't catch the Super Bowl. But there was this commercial. I saw it. Dude was holding Doritos over some pregnant bitch's stomach. And the little tyke bumped his head on the uterus wall. Or the egg sac, or placenta, or whatever you want to call it, Lake Placid. And it tried to get the Dorito. And she decided to be a bitch and not join in on the fun. And said, "Stop eating Doritos at my ultrasound. Do you see this man? He's eating Doritos at my ultrasound." You know, they're always down on men. They're always down on men. They're always making them look like idiots on the telly. She told him to stop eating Doritos. The man was hungry. He's been dealing with a pregnant bitch for 9 months. He was hungry. Let him have his goddamn Doritos. So he threw the Dorito, and the little shit just shot out of her vag. And some abortion rights group was complaining about this, saying it humanizes fetuses. Now I'm pro-abortion. I think it should be done within the first 3 months or so, if possible. But this is just taking it too far. It was a funny commercial. I watched it on YouTube. It was funny. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Anyway, this game right here. This was back before Square Enix went faggy. Now they're still making good shit. I think that stopped around the time of 8. I don't know, I didn't play 8. I did enjoy 12. I didn't finish it. I was high. I lost track of the story about 40 hours in. Yes, I could have gone back and looked at a walkthrough. I'm sure I probably, just read it up until wherever the hell I was. Probably could have watched a Let's Play video on the internet, but let's face it, this is the only gaming channel worth watching. Aside from the Gaming Historian, I will say that channel is pretty interesting. But it's not necessarily a gaming channel. It's about video games, but yeah. But yeah, I'm sure I still have it around here. I think I found my PS2 when the house burned. There's no telling if I found my memory card though. I don't know. That's a possibility. Like Campbell's tomato soup. Soup is always possible. I did plan on reading all these in character voices, like, Your Majesty, I'm afraid Cecil, blah blah blah, but I think I skipped forward on too fast. Look at that asshole talking about you behind your back. Here, my liege. Hand over the crystal. Real crystal. Good, Cecil. I just have to... missed it. He goes over... Your Majesty. What is it? We do not understand the meaning of taking crystals away from honest people. Disobeying me? No, I don't. We know of your discontent, Cecil. If you cannot trust me, I can no longer place you in the Red Wings Commander maxi pads. You're dismissed from your post. Your Majesty. Go and hunt the summoned monsters of the Misty Valley, and take this package to the village Mist. You may depart tomorrow morning. That guy to the left is the Queen. Your Majesty! Cecil didn't! You're concerned about Cecil that much, then go with him, Kane. Your Majesty! Now, leave with the package. Received the package. Your Majesty! Don't worry, he'll put you back in command of the Red Wings after this mission. Doesn't really... Well, like, would Cecil really understand what the control pad was? It doesn't tell you where your room is, you just have to find it. I stumbled on it. I played this game for about 30 minutes yesterday before I realized that the recording was fucked up, so I had to go back and do it again. I made it to a little village in the middle of the desert. Talking to everybody. I already know what I'm supposed to do, but talking to everybody anyway. Who knows, they might give me a little hint on something. I'm sure you do. I'm sure Rosetta Stone had faith in the bus driver before she sat at the front seat. That bus driver said, "No, Rosetta Stone. You sit in the back of the bus." Rosetta Stone changed history for the black people that day. Was it Rosetta Stone or was it Loretta Lynch? Who was the little old black lady that wanted to sit at the front of the bus? Right, you can't answer me. I know I found this place. Now Sid, if it's the guy I'm thinking of, whenever I read his word speech, I can't help but think he sounds like Rick Moranis. You'll see why in a minute. I fucked around here too long this time. I should have got straight to the mission. There's really nothing around here to see. Oh yeah, those two basements. The one on the right is the White Mage Academy. There's some, well actually it's her, Rosa. She's a white mage and apparently likes Cecil. But Cecil is a virgin, and you'll see why in a minute. Cecil, can I see you later? Yeah, later. It's just the jail. I thought we killed all those mages, but
You don't understand. The crystal isn't just jewelry.
now the first one involved the 4 crystals of the elements, I think. I'm not sure about the second one. I have the second one on NES. I think it's just like might just be a translation. It was a little different on Final Fantasy II for NES because you leveled up each skill individually. I guess even back in the day, Square Enix was trying to fuck with the system. Final Fantasy V is my current favorite, but I think this one could surpass that. I never actually played very far into it. There's a cat here. She's in heat, and she tends to molest my foot. She's sneaky about it. I'll look down, and her pussy. Saying the word pussy, I don't know, it never sounds right coming out of my mouth. But I don't know, it's not a slang term. I've always been a fan of twat myself. Or cunt. I like cunt. Or Sarkeesian. But yeah, I'll look down. It'll just be pressed right up against me. Right now she's in my lap. It's kind of funny whenever she's in heat, because I've never seen a cat enjoy belly rubs this much. I'm sure part of it has to do with the fact that her nipples are on her stomach. I don't know how it works with cats. You don't like to think about petting your pets too much. I mean, like when you pet a dog, well, I mean, I guess chances are they are getting aroused. I mean, you ever pet an unfixed male dog? They get a boner. That's not cool. Spay or neuter your pets, or else I won't pet them. Oh yeah, here we go. He's in his room. He's got Rosa in there. And what does he do? Look what he does. He gives her reassuring words. Who does that to a woman? And then he tells her to go back to her room. I mean, sure, he only has a twin-sized bed, but, you know, if it's big enough for twins, it's big enough for 2 people to have some fucky sex time in it. This sounds like a musical. Thanks, Rosa. I'm still just a dark night. So I guess this is just like the first hints of fagginess that Square Enix aspired to. I did enjoy what I played of Final Fantasy VII, but I didn't like the way they changed it up. Like changed up the way the characters look for like the movie. What was it? Advent Children. So like back in these days, it was all about adventure, going out, using magic, and the like medieval-looking levels with a little bit of future technology like airships. And nowadays, it's all cityscapes and dreamy eyes. They need to go back to doing this. What are they up to now? Final Fantasy 15? Like, I would die happy if they made the next Final Fantasy game using these graphics. but instead of use these graphics, these mechanics, but fill up like a whole Blu-ray disc with length. Make that game 5,000 hours long. Maybe increase the level cap to where you can get to level 500 or something. I mean, with computers these days, someone could make a game like this by themselves. Sure, it would take a while, but they could make a game like this by themselves. If they put their whole team on the graphics would not take all that long. They would just have the tile sets. They could smooth it out a little bit. Just make it like this. Just with tons of options, so it's always new. Like a bunch of job classes. That would be so great. I would kill for that game to be made. I would pay for that game. I think the most recent one I played was 13. Is that the one with the pink-haired bitch? Yeah, Lightning. And her sister Thunder or something. That's the last one I played. I didn't even play that far into it. I didn't like how they removed the experience points system. Even if they wanted to put modern graphics on it, they could still make it like this. Where you view it from the top, just make everything more detailed. But make a game like this. These are the RPGs that they'll never be able to beat. Super Nintendo. Yeah, I fucked around way too long in the castle. The next video is going to be shorter, about 30 minutes or so. Although I guess, technically, since the YouTube Red thing they're forcing on everybody, and it seems like they're having more non-skippable video ads since YouTube Red came out. I have non-skippable. I have the unskippable video ads turned off because, I mean, maybe one day I might do the short ones, but not now. This channel's basically still in its infancy. Yeah, I cut out some of the more boring battles. I didn't get to all of them, but like I cut out the like the goblin fights. There were a couple of them or there was one of them, I should say, where I just wanted you to see the cool sprites on the enemy, but they didn't even really get in a hit, so I just skipped that to shave off a little bit of time. And I really fucked up later, you'll see it. I trimmed it down considerably. Like, I trimmed the whole battle down to like... You'll see when we get there. This one I just sped up. I'm sure you guys don't want to see me grind in a video game anyway. But the first time I played this game, and I've only attempted it once before, I did not get past this dungeon, right? Well, this little cave. I wouldn't call this a dungeon by any means. It's so simple. All the enemies are All the enemies are basically one-hit kills. This one actually seems easier than... Oh yeah, I think the first time I played it, it's been years too, I think. You see, this is a minor boss fight, and I don't even know why I use those cures. I don't think I went past this right here, and I don't remember why. I may have had to go do something else. Or it might have just been the overload, because I had so many Super Nintendo ROMs that I wanted to play other ones. I mean, Super Nintendo cartridges. Any ROMs that I have, I do own the cartridges of, but... I think at the time that I'd tried playing this, I might have been working on my own RPGs. You saw one of them that I made, but I didn't finish. I never finished one. It was the James Doppler's epic sci-fi fantasy quest of space-time adventure for the mind, or something like that. If you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out. It's full of good shit. The graphics aren't this good, but I think they're okay. All hand-drawn, pixel by pixel, except for some of the backdrops in the battles, but those are pictures that I took. Used them. Took them in the woods. I mean, might as well heal. I mean, it's such a cool looking boss, but it's so easy. I read somewhere that the PSP version of this, and maybe the Game Boy Advance version, were Final Fantasy IV hard mode. But I read this is still the best translation or whatever. I can't remember the story of why this was called Final Fantasy II in America. I'm not sure if they made fan translations for like Final Fantasy III or not. I'm sure they did. I need to look into it. I think that was where they I lost my train of thought. Anyhow, I remember having Nintendo Power back in the day, and they had this advertisement when the DS came out. Like, I had it from actually registering the product, and got like 3 free issues or something. But they had an advertisement for Final Fantasy III, never before released in America, coming out for Nintendo DS. It was talking about the job system and all these different combinations you could use. Final Fantasy V, I have a save file on my phone. I got really far on it. I think I put in like 60 hours. I'm at level 48, but I went to this little dungeon where there were these stone statues that I would fight over and over again for ability points, and I got a bunch of their job levels to maximum. Yeah, the King of Baron is a prick. And Yeah, we killed that little girl's mother. Didn't mean to, but it happened. You've beaten my mother's dragon. That sounds dirty. I don't know why he just automatically jumps to, hey, let's kill the kid. And then the other guy's like, no. So he says, okay, let's not kill the kid. Do you just not want to fight Cecil? I wonder if Baron is supposed to be like America. Like the America of the Final Fantasy world. It's possible. We're about to the point where I got to on the first recording. However, the first recording only took 30 minutes, but I did go back and find a couple of things that I missed on the first try. Going into this without walkthroughs. Oh look, we're gonna kill the little girl anyway. No, she summons this dude. She's like, oh, Rocky! And that dude shows up. Uses his muscles to cause an earthquake, which apparently brings down mountains. I don't know how they both survived that. Looks like Cain went missing though. It's too bad. I don't know, I haven't actually, like... I mean, so far the enemies are weak. You can just kill them quicker with two of them. If you have two heroes in your party. Yeah, this is one of those battles I could have cut out, but I didn't catch it. It kind of makes it feel like a different game, since like the potions are called cures, the goblins are called imps. Yeah, here's the desert. Do you see that space right up there at the top? First time I was playing this, I kind of explored the desert. You're supposed to go to that village first, but I decided to check out because I know there was a cave up to the north. I remember them talking about something blocking it. So I decided to go check it out. That was a mistake. You're about to see why. Yeah, I probably could have sped up a few of these battles. Go into this cave. As soon as I get to there, this happens. I shaved like I sped this up, which shaved off 11 minutes, and then I cut out about 4 more minutes. Just because it took that long. I was doing one damage, like one damage point per hit, I didn't have enough cures to throw at all of them. I figured the cures might work. That tends to work with zombies if you use like white magic or something. But that took forever. At least I gained a level. As soon as it was over, I was so anxious that it might start another battle before I got out of the cave. I probably would have rage quit had that happened. Anyway, back to this little village. I don't know how that little lake there doesn't dry up. He didn't even say take her to the hospital. Remember that, everyone. If you have a daughter, have her act sick when you go to a hotel and you get a free room. Another thing I thought was pretty cool about this one. Whenever you go to the menu, the character portraits are actually drawn out pretty well. In 5, you just saw their battle graphics. Yeah, from the first play, I found out that this officer is a coward. Because if you kill all the soldiers, the officers ran. So I decided to kill the officer. To see if it would. I didn't know if the officers and the soldiers would run, or if it would let me kill the officer. It let me kill the officer, so I got that much more experience. They all look the same outside of battle. I don't know why Cecil doesn't look that big and mean whenever you enter into it. You have a sword too, you faggot. Why aren't you attacking? I guess the king only promotes cautious officers who don't fight their own battles. I debated on speeding up this one too, but I think I'm only going to speed up or cut out the battles that are just like, repetitive, just to save time. Final Fantasy is always a long game. I played Final Fantasy 1 and beat it. That's the only one I've ever beaten. Played it for the Game Boy Advance, where they made it a lot easier. I realized afterwards, because I tried to do it on the NES and couldn't do it. I'm sure I could have if I'd kept at it. And now suddenly they're friends. It's kind of a Arya and the Hound situation here. I learned early to check all the pots. There tends to be stuff in the pots. I don't know if that's supposed to be a quest or if they're just telling me useless information for no reason. There aren't really a lot of side quests. I could have sped up this part too. It's a learning experience. Next time around I'll speed up when I'm in stores. You see, I don't know why anybody would ever leave this village. Because they'd have to go out into the desert, and there are no showers in the desert. I'm assuming the crystals keep the monsters at bay. Oh, one beef I have with this game. It doesn't tell you, like, if an item is more powerful. You just have to kind of guess or look. I know the staff does one more attack than what she currently has, which is the rod. The rod and the staff, they comfort me. So I got the bow and the thingy. I got an iron too, why not? It's only 10 gold. But I got out here, and I realized I might have missed something in the town. And as it turns out, yeah, she says that Anna ran away because her dad didn't like her boyfriend. Didn't say if he was a minority or not. You find Rosa. I don't know how Rosa got here, but she's sick. I traveled all the way through the desert and fought all those monsters, and I'm okay. I'm assuming if I find that sand ruby, she'll be able to join my party. So I just gotta find it, and then I'll have a white mage who will come in handy for those zombies. Anyway, that's all for today. If you like my shit, please subscribe. Tell your friends about my channel. Really easy to subscribe. The little icon in the lower right hand corner. Share my videos. Adios.